Hello and welcome to this NetOrca demo. Today I'm going to show you how a service owner would define a service and publish it onto the NetOrca platform. So in this scenario we're a network team and we want to allow for consumers to reserve IP networks. So the first question we need to ask is, what is the minimum required information that we need from the consumer? And the first thing we'll need a team name to own that service. We'll need a name of the network itself, and then we probably need a network range. So that would be something like /24 or /30 or whatever we need. Now we know that the NetOrca platform already has team names because teams have to register onto the platform. So we can get rid of that requirement, and we're left with these two required pieces of information that we put into our schema. So as the network team, we already have a presence on NetOrca, and we can see that we have a number of services that are already published, and we have service items that are requested against those, so they're being used. And this is supported by the Git repository. So within this Git repository we have JSON schema definitions for each of the services we offer, and obviously for this new service we want to create a new definition. So GitLab has a handy web IDE to edit. So we'll go to the NetOrca folder, create a new file. So it'll be .NetOrca, and then the file would be IPv4 network is what we want to call the service. And we'll create that one. So I've roughly prepared a JSON schema for this. So within the schema we have metadata, which defines the service name, and this must be unique across the platform, so that's an important field. We also have a schema version which we can use to manage the schema as we move this service along. And then from our required fields we have the name, which is a string. We put in an example here that shows the users what we would like that to be called. And then secondary we have a network range. A network range in this case is a string as well, and we have regex for that. So we have a pattern match for that, so we're going to require the user puts a slash and then is able to choose from /24 to /31. And we can also give a list of examples that the consumer can see there. So we've put that JSON schema in, we can commit that. We can create a branch and start a merge request. Now as soon as we create that merge request, it's going to kick off a build process. Build process will first lint all the JSON schemas, and it will send it to NetOrca for validation. Now that build and linting process has gone on, and we can see that it's failed. So we can check here for the output to see what's actually failed. And it looks like we've got an extra trailing comma on line 4. So that's something we need to fix. And we'll do another commit to get that merge request going again. Now after the commit to fix up that trailing comma, the linting process is now passed. So at this point the network team would do a review of the new service, and they could have multiple approvers here. But then they would go ahead and merge that to master. Now when that merges to master, it'll kick off another build pipeline, and this build pipeline will go through the same linting, but it will also deploy it onto NetOrca. At which point, once it's deployed onto NetOrca, it will be ready and available to be consumed. So we can see here now that the build after that merge is successfully completed, and that means that the new service has been pushed onto NetOrca. So if we go to the NetOrca Teams page and go to our services, we can see that the IPv4 reservation service now exists. That means it's on the platform and ready to be consumed by any consumer teams. Now this is just a fairly simple example of a service definition. We have a number of other examples within the network team repository in the demo here, and they show things like different validations, more fields, and in particular we have the ability to relate to other services. Within the load balancer example here, we show that you can specify that a VM needs to exist in the consumer application, and then that needs to be referred to for this service to actually work.